Welcome back to the Distressed Princess. I'm Rhonda. In today's video, I have some more dupes for you. I have Patriotic dupes to be exact from PotteryBarn and Kirkland's. These would all be perfect for home decorations for the 4th of July. So put your crafty pants on and let's get started. I was really surprised to find paper decorations on the PotteryBarn website, but there they were, and I think they are stinking adorable, and I would love to recreate them because I'm not paying their price. I've written down how many pieces and what sizes of paper you'll need to make each size. They call these rosettes, and so if you want to pause and take a screenshot, that way you'll have it for reference later. These are 12 by 12 pieces of scrapbook paper that I already had in my stash. You'll need 2 to make the large, 2 to make the medium, and 1 to make the small. We'll start with the large one, and going off my reference sheet, you need 4 pieces that are 6 inches by 12 inches. So basically, you just need to take your 2 pieces that you want to use for your large rosette and cut them in half. If you have a scoring board, this process will be much faster for you, but I don't have a scoring board, so I'm having to hand score these myself at every ½ inch. So I'm measuring out every ½ inch, and this is on the whole 12-inch side, not the 6-inch, but the 12-inch side. And every ½ inch, I'm making a mark. Now you need something to score with. I'm using a ruler and a tool that is actually for nail art, and so I'm just making the score marks doing this method. But remember, you'll get much more precise results if you actually have a scoring board, so I recommend using that if you have one. Once you have all 4 pieces scored, then you're going to fold them in the accordion fan fashion. These pieces are all going to connect together, so before you start folding your next piece, pay attention to the first piece if the top part is pointed up or down, and then do your next piece the opposite so that they will connect. And this will probably make more sense later when we connect the pieces. When you have all 4 pieces folded, then you're going to take some craft glue. This is from the Crafter's Square at the Dollar Tree, and we're going to connect them. So here's where you'll lay them out and put your craft glue on the piece that's like, I don't know, on the bottom. I hook them together like links, and I consider that a bottom piece, and the next one is a top piece, like it's going to go on top. So you want it to, the pleats to look seamless. I guess that's what I'm trying to say. So when you fold it all back up, they don't look like they're missing any pleats. After you get all 4 pieces glued together, now you're going to connect the whole thing to make a circle, or some people call it like a lampshade. So same deal, they'll connect like links, and just put your glue and connect them just like you did before. Now this is the most fun part. You stand it up and then force it to fold in on itself and lay flat on the table. I know it doesn't seem like it would work, but it does. You just push it right down, and there it is, a beautiful rosette. Put some hot glue around the center, and you can use whatever you want for the middle. I just cut out a piece of red cardstock paper, and that's it. You can go back and look at my reference sheet to see the sizes you need to cut to make the medium and the small rosettes. Here I'm working on my medium one, and this scrapbook paper was mostly white. It has like some planks on it or something, but I decided to put a stripe of red and a stripe of blue, so you can get really creative with these. I just did this, colored it in with a marker before I started scoring it, so this is how it turned out. Yachty was being a good boy while I was crafting that day. And I made a navy blue circle to put in the middle of the small one. For hangers, I'm using this thin crochet thread, so I'm just going to make a large loop and Scotch tape to tape it to the back. This dupe will be free for many of you that already have scrapbook paper, but if you had to go and buy some, you could make these for less than $5. The next dupe comes from Kirkland's, and these are some really cute patriotic mugs, but I had the idea that maybe we could make these at home. You'll need 2 white ceramic mugs. I got mine from the Dollar Tree. And you'll need some Waterslide decal paper. I got mine from Amazon for around $10. You need to make sure that you are buying it for your inkjet printer. If you have a laser jet printer, they have some for that too. And you also want to make sure that it is transparent. This is what the paper looks like, and you'll notice when you take it out that there's a glossy side and a matte side. So you will be printing on the glossy side. There are instructions on the back of the package. However, I went ahead and watched some other YouTube videos. I watched Jennifer Maker make some water slides, and so I'm using her instructions. I found the perfect graphic over on Creative Fabrica, and if you're new to downloading graphics and using them for your crafts, it's really simple. I'm going to show you right now how I do it. First of all, I use my phone for everything. So I'm using my phone here, but it works the same way with a computer. I've gone to the search bar and typed in 4th of July, and now I'm looking for graphics. And there are a whole lot of cute graphics for t-shirts and things for the 4th of July. Right off the bat, the second one in, I see that mason jar with the flowers. That's the one I want. That's almost identical to the one from Kirkland's. At the bottom of the screen, you'll see a download button and click it. For whatever reason, that takes you to another download button, and you click that one too. Now you'll see a pop-up on the bottom of your screen that says download in blue. Click that, and that actually downloads it to your phone or your computer. On my phone, it's stored in this file folder. And inside the file folder is this Chrome folder. Then look for the zip file that has your graphic name on it. Mine was Western 4th of July. When you click the zip file, the blue file next to it pops up, and that's where your images will be. Now that you know your image is safe and sound in your file folder, now we can use our Pages app to work with it. In the Pages app, you'll start a new document. Use the plus sign at the top to import your graphic. Click on Insert From, and there's a file folder, and then click on your image to insert. Now you can size your image, and I went with 4 inches by 4 inches. Go up to the 3 buttons at the top of the page, and you can print your work. Once your printer is found, there's a couple of things you need to do. You need to set your print quality to best, and you need to set it to photo glossy paper. And here it is, all done with my phone, and I think that's stinking amazing. And I also printed this digital paper from Creative Fabrica for the second mug. Next, you're going to need some sort of clear coat for acrylic. Now give them a good even spray. Wait 15 minutes and then spray another coat. After the second 15 minutes and the clear coat is dry, now you can cut your image out. I cut mine as close to the image as I could. Next, you'll need a little dish of water, and the process goes like this. You'll put your decal down into the water and let it soak for 60 seconds. And you also want to get some water onto your mug and get it slippery wet, because you're going to want to be able to slide and maneuver this decal around once you get it onto your mug. After the 60 seconds, remove the decal from the water And with your left hand, you can sort of start moving the top of the decal, and with your right hand, start sliding the decal backing off. So you, with your left hand, maneuver it onto your mug, and with your right hand, pull the backing out from underneath it. Now you can start positioning it and smoothing out any wrinkles or bubbles, and you can even use a paper towel to help soak up some of the water. And if you feel like it's getting stuck but you still need to move it around a little bit, just add some more water to it, and that helps loosen it back up so you're able to reposition. So it's really not that hard to work with. It's not as scary as I thought, and you have just witnessed me do my very first Waterslide decal. So I think all in all it went pretty well. I used the same steps to apply my other decal to the second mug, and I even had some of that decal left. So I had printed almost a whole sheet of that design, and I didn't need all of it for the mug. So I actually rummaged up a little bonus DIY for you. I found this little watering can, and I wanted to see how this would do on metal because the kind I bought said it will go on metal, and it went on just perfectly. So I am really happy with how these DIYs turned out. Kirkland's wanted $39.99 for their mugs, and I was able to dupe them for about $12.50. The last dupe also comes from Kirkland's. It's a really pretty rustic flag wall plaque, and I love it, but I wanted to challenge myself and see if I could paint one. At the Dollar Tree Plus, they have these wooden canvases. I love these. So many different uses. This is what I'm going to paint my flag on. The Kirkland's plaque was a rustic flag, so we need to get a good distressed look going. So the first step to that is to give a whole base layer coat of paint. I'm using Waverly chalk paint in the color Elephant. And don't worry about the sides, we will take care of those later. Now I'm going to use the candle wax distressing method, and I'm going to give it another shot. I haven't had it work out great for me in the past, but I'm going to try it once again. So you're supposed to rub the candle all over your base layer color, and then when you put your top layers of color on, wherever the candle wax is easily removed looking distressed. You'll see. Next, I marked off where my stripes would go, so I used my ruler and I marked off every 2 inches. And I did this on both sides so I can make sure I get a nice straight line when I'm making my stripes. Then I had to decide where I wanted the field of blue to go, like how big to make it up in the corner, and originally I went with 4x6, but then I extended it a little bit to make it 5x6. And this is a white marker from Dollar Tree I'm using for my marks. I do one color at a time with my stripes, so I'm starting with the red ones, so I'm just masking off where my red stripes will be. And the paint colors I'm using are Admiral Blue, Flamenco Red, and White. Now you'll notice when you're painting in your stripes that if you're not too heavy-handed and have too much paint on your brush, you'll have a little bit of automatic rustic looking distressing just from where the paint isn't getting and going everywhere. And you want that because remember, this is a very distressed looking flag. So go light-handed and let the gray show through in places. After that paint has dried, you can remove your tape. And you can use the same pieces of tape to cover up the red so that you can now start on your white stripes. And same thing with the white paint. If you're light-handed, you can just get an automatic rustic look. And look how pretty this is already when you remove the tape for the second time. Now it's really starting to look like a flag. Now I've taped off where the blue paint will go, and still light-handed and letting some of that gray show through up here in the blue part. Now here comes the next part of the candle distressing method. You're supposed to take some packing tape and put it down over your top layer of paint after it's dry, of course. And then you kind of squeegee it down with a credit card, or I'm using a Cricut scraper. Scrape it all down so that it's real good and stuck to the paint, and then rip it back off, and it's supposed to take paint and make it look chippy. And I've yet to have that actually work very effectively. It always takes off some paint, but I never quite get the chippiness that I want. So I don't know. If someone has suggestions on that, I'd love to hear them. But oh well, even though that didn't work quite to my liking, I used the scraper to just kind of scrape back some of that paint, and I feel like that worked better. I hunted and hunted in my stash for a star stencil because I wanted these stars to be perfect, but I couldn't find one, and I didn't want to go to the trouble of making one with a Cricut, so I'm just going to hand draw them. So I decided first I wanted to make them as straight as possible, so I marked off with dots where I wanted each star to go. Then I said my prayers and started drawing. There's one more step to the distressing that I wanted to do, and that's using the slider color pewter gray paint. So I'm going to go along the lines, the edges of the stripes, and around the field of blue with that gray paint. And I'm also going to do some splotches in the center and around the edges to make it look like this is worn wood, like the colors, the white and the red and the blue, are chipped away, and this gray paint is what's the wood underneath. Once that's all dry, we'll take care of the edges. So I'm just going to use some watered down antiquing wax and use a foam brush so you can precisely get that just on the edges without it getting on the top. Pretty easy if you just go straight up and down with your foam brush, and that takes care of the edges. And I think I did pretty good considering the Kirkland's art was $79.99 and this only cost me $3. Now let's take a look back at all our patriotic dupes today. Thank you so much for watching and supporting my channel. It means the world to me. If you're not already a subscriber, would you please consider hitting that button and the notification bell so you're notified every time I upload a video. And if you want to see more patriotic DIYs, click the link that I've provided for you right here, and I'll see you next time. Bye!